Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. We're going to start our September the 4th, 2025, 9 a.m. Chattanooga Beer Board meeting. A couple of notes of interest, please. All meeting attendees must sign in on a designated sign-in sheet. Please, ma'am, please, sir. We are abide by the sunshine law. Any electronic devices must be turned off or muted so as not to disrupt the meeting. Let me do that also. Individuals that's wishing to address the board must do so from the podium right here. And please state your name before you make any comments. Next on our agenda, we have the approval of minutes for the meeting August 21st, 2025. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
It's been motion a second that we approve the minutes for August 21st, 2025 minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so move. Those that will be speaking this morning, can you please stand to be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're moving to beer applications approved by regulatory. 100 Food 8 LLC, beer number 1321 has been approved. Riverside Collection LLC, beer number 1352 has been approved. Did we miss any? All these are good, sorry, Moses?
Yes, all the, number one, 100 Food, number two, Riverside Collection are both approved by regulatory.
All right. So we'll move forward to new temporary beer permit applications. And we see there is none. And we move to new beer applications. We have Shredders LLC, beer 1357. We'll hear from Bertha on that one.
Okay. Representing Shredders LLC, doing business as Shredders Liar, Brian Hennon, Louis Armstead, and Chandler Hunt are making application to engage in the sale of consumer beer at 3230 Brainerd Road. Mr. Hennon has a beer permit for the Corn Op located at 733 East ML King Boulevard, Suite 100. The location is owned by Elaine Peters Gannon and is Zone CC.
All right. Are you here? All right. You want to come to the podium, please? Thank you.
They are, been held up by legal.
All right.
And sir,
Yes.
which applicant are you? What is your name?
I'm Brian Hennon.
Brian? Thank you, sir.
And is Mr. Hunt here?
Mr. Hunt is here.
Step up here for me.
Go to the podium.
Yeah, Mr. Hunt, we're going to swear you in. I don't think you stood neither.
He wasn't.
Oh,
Do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I saw the notes in the portal, but I just wanted to, have you here and present to address the issue on your background check. When was the sentence completed?
June 12th? Yeah, the 10th through the 12th?
Of 2015?
2015, yes.
Okay, all right, and for the record, it's a violation of probation with the underlying, I think it was an alcohol offense.
Underage possession, yes.
Okay, and as a result, it's outside of the 10 years, just outside of the 10 years, so he's clear to have a beer permit, but I just kind of wanted that on the record before I approved everything, so.
all right. All right. Mr. Henry, you want to tell us more about Shredders LLC?
Absolutely. Shredder's Lair is going to be primarily a used music retail store. So we've taken over a former event space, and our plan is currently, we have sort of just a retail counter with a bunch of used music gear, strings, guitars and all that stuff, with the plan to do repairs as well. There's a small cafe we have going, some coffee and tea, along with some very simple food items, mostly prepackaged for now, and that's the gist of it, so.
All right. And will you be selling alcohol also?
We'll be, no alcohol.
Just beer?
Just beer for now, yes, sir.
All right. Any questions for this board?
Operating hours, please.
Operating hours will be Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes, sir.
What's the occupancy of this establishment?
99?
99.
Oh, I'm
Now,
sorry, no, it's 49.
Excuse me?
It's 49 on the health inspection report.
49, okay. Do you understand that means that's whoever in there is buying or looking around or people working there, you understand that it's a total number that you cannot overgo?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? If there's no questions from this board, can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve beer permit 1357.
There's a motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
A second.
It's been motion and second that Shredders LLC, Shredders Lear, beer number 1357. Can I get Christie?
Yes.
Brooke? Veronica?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Reggie?
Yes.
Betsy?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right.
Thank the board, yes.
Thank you.
All right, now we have Frank's and Toe Beans LLC, beer number 1358. Are you here? They've been approved by regulatory. All right, so there's no action on that. All right, we're moving, previous beer violations, last week we heard from hearing officer Trevor Ashley, and the recommendations, you should have received those. We can put that on the floor for discussion. And if not, we will accept the hearing officer's recommendation. The floor is now open for discussion or motion. Ron?
I'll make a motion that we sustain the hearing officer's recommendation.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been motion and second that we accept the hearing officer Trevor Essley report and recommendation that was heard on August 21st regarding exile of Maine. Let's start with Zach.
There should be discussion on the motion before we
okay.
take a vote.
Is there a discussion on this motion?
I don't agree. My vote will be no.
All right, we haven't got that, okay, that far yet, but we're coming around the
What
mountain.
discussion do we need?
I'm sorry?
After what discussion are we needing?
You can just state that you don't want to sustain, the hearing officer's, recommendation, and then state why, and if you want to put something new on the table, you can do that as well.
I don't want to sustain the hearing officer's recommendation. There were 3 calls made in the same night. And they're also stated in the report about the beer license not being presented. And also it was stated that his occupancy is 49 people, and the officer put in the police report that was 150 to 200 people in the building. None of that was brought about in the hearing.
Okay. All right, any more discussions? And if there's a recommendation, Veronica, you can, make that also during this time.
My question would be, and I was absent last meeting, but are those items detailed in the transcript?
In the transcript of the hearing or the transcript of the report? Because it was in the report that it was like over 100 people there, 100 to 200 people there, and they were not cited for their occupancy.
I read the report and I didn't see that. Do we know what number it is? I assume
What we
number-
got in the email didn't have it in it, but when we came to the meeting on the last meeting we had, it was an additional page added to it, and it was in there. The officer said it was 150 to 200 people there.
I think the hearing, my thought on that is the hearing officer made his judgment off of what they were cited for.
Right.
And I agree with you. I really do. There's a problem there. But we're not getting to the root cause of the problem. And until we get to the root cause of the problem, we're gonna be battering this back and forth. But he made his decision based off what the citation was for, and that's all he could do.
All right, Bessie.
That was exactly what I was gonna say, is I don't think we can bring new additional information / evidence based off of just exactly what Ron said. What was presented last week was the case. And if there should have been additional citations, then additional citations can be made at some point, but I don't think that that's what we're here to judge on today. If I'm,
Sure, but we're just gonna ignore the fact that all that existed. I mean, the hearing officer ignored it, obviously. Yes, he was going by what the citation was, but there was other issues there. And even if I go back to the initial citation, it was 3 calls at one night to that same address. And it still didn't report what the citation was for, which was nobody called for the incident that happened inside the building.
you're correct, I don't think anybody's arguing that fact.
All right, we're gonna talk to Calvin. He needs to be
Do
sworn.
you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Just a point that I think can probably help clear this up. The 150 to 200 people that were there, that was stated, however, that was out in the parking lot. That was not in the confines of the actual bar. I really don't think 200 people would fit in that bar. It's too small. But the amount of people that was there was all on the outside of their business. So were the amount of people actually there? Yes, 100%. But they were not physically inside that bar, so that's why they weren't cited.
There's still discussion on the floor. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Reggie.
May I ask a question to the officer then?
Okay, let me come to Reggie and then I'll come to you.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think one of those calls was for disorderly for the parking lot, and that was the reason for that. But I don't know if they stated with the disorder in the parking lot, the amount of people that were there. I'm just.
Well, that is correct as well. The unfortunate part is the parking lot that we're referring to does not belong to the bar. It is a separate privately owned parking lot. So that's why the police were called to try to clear that lot out. And that's also where some of the misunderstandings come from in terms of the timeframes of when these calls came in versus when this disorder occurred that wasn't reported to us immediately. I think there was some confusion as to when the police were there, when they were in the parking lot, because they had been called, like you're saying, no less than 3 times, maybe even 4 or 5, for previous incidents earlier in the evening. So I think we're going under the ruse that the police were there and we're thinking that they already know about it, but they didn't know about that particular one, which is why they were cited.
All right, I'm going to Ron.
We all, I think up here might agree that there's a problem there, and it's got to stop. And I don't know little citations are gonna do it. So somebody's gotta, building's gotta, health department's probably gotta, in the hunt. The regulatory board is, and maybe zoning even. So we gotta get our act together and figure out what we can do.
I would completely agree with that, and I would sit here and tell you that I've been out there personally no less than 3 to 4 times myself, just to observe it. I have talked to the people that own the parking lot and stuff next door. I've told them about putting up no loitering signs, maybe even roping it off, doing something to try to keep the crowd out, because that's actually what's happening. People are gathering in that pay parking lot to conduct their personal business. They're not actually going into the bar because there's not enough room in the bar. And they're sitting out in the parking lot and playing their music and creating the noise violations. So when the police are notified about that, or when officers on patrol see it, they come through and push it out just like they're supposed to. But without somebody calling them and telling them, it's kind of hard pressed for us to be able to capture it every single time that it happens, if that makes any sense. So once again, it still comes down to the due diligence of the bar owners. When they see this stuff happening, that they know it's their crowd that is drawing, their bar is the one that's drawing the crowd, they still need to be responsible enough to call the police and say, hey, this problem's occurring. This is not our problem, or not our parking lot, but it is our bar that's drawing it. So it just needs to be addressed. So yes, I completely agree that something different needs to occur in that particular location as it relates to the crowd that's being brought there.
So it appears they should have been cited for operating a disorderly place. Wouldn't that fall up under that?
It's possible. However, I think that's been done before in the past, and that one was dismissed.
I think it was a no vote.
Christie, did you say who should be cited?
The bar. Because he testified that it kind of falls on them to call and notify them because it's their crowd that's bringing in the disruption or disorderly to the area. So they're responsible for their crowd.
Does the beer code say that anywhere? If your crowd is misbehaving on not your property, is that your responsibility legally through the beer code to report it? You should, for the record. I agree, it's the right thing to do. But we have to discuss what we're legally, that's all we're allowed to vote on. I don't remember seeing it. It's been a while since I've read it.
In reference to what Reggie said, Reggie, I'm looking on here, I don't see where there was a call for a disorder. There was a call at 12:55, 40 minutes later, a call at 1:35, hour and 20 minutes later, a call at 2:55. None of them was for a disorder. The third call at 2:55 is when they let that third call know that there was a disorder inside the building, so it was never reported. Even with that being said, they already had 3 violations before this one. And then we sit here, one of them didn't even get voted on, it was a failed vote. So 3 previous violations, then this one comes, and then we dismiss it. So it's like, we're just letting them do whatever. They can just getting away with whatever they do down there at Exile.
But the attorney did point out that because the police were already there, they didn't have to call. They notified the police in person. That's in the beer code. That's allowed.
Yes, it is.
So it's not gonna be on the call log because the
Even though it was an
cops
hour
were
late.
already there. Well, I mean, it's cited anywhere that with proof what time the altercation was?
No, but it didn't happen at 2:55.
The cops were told, and the beer code says, if the cops are there and you tell them, that's your legal obligation. And they fulfilled it. Again, I'm not saying that all this disorderly is great, but this is an opinion. This is what we're legally allowed to do. And legally, we have to follow the guidelines of the beer code, and they did.
Right. And to answer your question earlier about what's in the code about, crowds not on the property, section 550B XV, right, I think that's 15. It is a violation to allow their premises to be operated in a disorderly manner. Their premises. So if it's not on their premises, it's not covered.
It's
If it starts on their-
ugly, but it's not
Right.
in the
If
code.
it starts on their premises and then moves, then I think that's something different.
Right.
But if it starts on another piece of property that's not connected to the business,
No, that makes sense.
then that's.
Correct.
But they're for Exile, but they're on somebody else's property causing problems.
Right.
Well, and I really believe it's hard to tell where the premises is down there because there's no real walls and roofs to, for them to call, this is what we got to maintain here. And I throw that back to building because I think there's building requirements. It's gotta be totally out of hand down there.
But the current violation that's before.
I'm not arguing that, I'm just saying, there's a lot going on down there besides.
Besides this, not calling the phone, not calling the police, it's other issues that are going on down there. Because even to his point, even if the property owner come there, they can put up signs, they can put up a fence, they can put up a gate, they can put up all they want to, that crowd is still gonna come down there because Exile is down there and nobody's addressing it with their, them and their crowd.
And neither is the beer board.
The beer board does what the beer board is legally allowed to do. It doesn't matter what we're interested in, it matters what we can do.
I think we're more than interested in it, just,
I mean, there's all kinds of hypotheticals we could talk about. I mean, if it was my property, I'd call the police every day. Sorry to bother you, but I would. And then eventually people would stop coming. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about what the attorney said, what the proof is, what the evidence is, what we're legally allowed to do. Everything else has to go out the window.
Correct. All right. There was a motion on the floor, but we on discussion, so we need to amend that motion if there is a recommendation. I'm coming to you.
It would be helpful for me. So there was 3 incidences. At 12:55, it was for loitering in front of the establishment, which I don't think constitutes disorderly conduct. Then at 1:35, there was a domestic call. And then at 2:55, police responded to disrupt a large crowd, also loitering in front of the location. When the police responded to the call at 2:55, they were notified of an incident which had occurred inside the establishment where the manager had fallen down during some type of physical altercation. So the question is, that last physical altercation inside the premises, how long before was the police officer present? It doesn't sound like the police officer was present when that happened, but they notified the police officer when he arrived.
It says, and I apologize, Mr. Schwerk testified that at the time of the incident occurred, a police officer was still present outside from dealing with a domestic call at approximately 1:35. The manager went out and spoke with the police officer and told him what happened. The police officer made a sweep of the restaurant and no further action was taken.
That.
Also, it was, the whole transcript of the entire hearing was emailed to us. So we can refer that to.
So I think what Veronica is getting at is if the police officer was still there at 1:35 on that call, why was the police called again at 2:55? Was they not notified at 1:35 of the incident?
Nobody from the building is calling the police. People in the community are calling the police. So if I'm in my apartment and I hear this mess down there and I don't know the cops are already down there handling it, I mean, it showed us in the log. It's not the same person calling over and over again. It's multiple people calling.
Then we can argue that they didn't call the police in at the establishment. And if you're saying that the public called the police, not the establishment.
The problems were outside. There was already a police officer there. According to the report and to the testimony, there was already a police officer there dealing with something outside when the manager came over and said, hey, while you're here, this happened inside. And that's all they're legally required to do.
So I believe.
Again, I'm not picking sides here, but I mean, we have to vote on whether or not to sustain or not sustain his order. And according to the legal professional and all the testimony, this is his recommendation. We can sustain it or not. That's fine, but discussing, this case has already been tried, now we just have to talk about what to do about it, unless I'm incorrect. I mean, we can make our own decision based on our feelings, but are we supposed to do that? Are we gonna do that from now on? Those are the rules.
Sergeant.
So if my memory serves me correct, just a point of clarification from what you were stating, at 2:55, when the police were called, it's my best recollection that someone from the bar did actually make that phone call because they saw the crowd growing outside once again, and they knew it was going to get out of hand when they closed down, so they went ahead and closed down. They said, I think in their terminology, they closed the bar early, but it was to the tune of like 5 minutes. But I mean, 5 minutes is 5 minutes. So they closed down early, called the police. So the patrol officers could help push the crowd out and try to clear out the lot. That way there wasn't anything further past the 3 o'clock mark. So it was my understanding that someone from the bar is the one who made that call at 2:55 to try to help disperse the crowd.
Any more discussions from this board? Again, I want to be clear that Ron made a motion. We can sustain, keep that going, or we can amend that.
I will second the motion that we sustain the public hearing officer's recommendation.
It's been motion, it's been second, that we sustain the recommendation from hearing officer Trevor Etchler. Christie? No,
vote?
yes,
Roll call.
I'm taking the vote, yes.
Has the discussion been closed?
Well,
Has
when
every-
I didn't hear I heard silence, so I kept moving. So, yeah, okay, no, you good. We'll rewind for a second. I heard silence, so I kept moving. Any more discussions?
So what are we voting on?
We're voting on sustaining Trevor Etchley, the hearing officer Trevor Etchley's recommendation. Ron said make a motion to sustain it. It's been seconded by Zach.
I think it also needs to be clear as to what that recommendation was.
Okay, yes, we can make that clear.
So I think we can move to amend that motion to say what the recommendation was.
Okay.
I'm lost now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
you made a motion to sustain his recommendation,
Right.
but you didn't say what that
Oh,
recommendation
right.
was.
Oh, okay.
You can also move to amend
Okay,
your
I got you.
previous, so.
Okay, my motion is that we should,
It's on the back page, yeah.
get this right. Well,
Last, right before, number 4, on that last page.
okay.
Okay.
That we sustain the hearing officer's, Mr. Ashley's report to dismiss this complaint.
Okay. It's been motioned by Ron that we accept the recommendation to dismiss this complaint. Can I get a second? It's been motioned and second that we accept it. We're going for the vote. Christie?
So we're saying we're voting to dismiss it. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. Okay. Brooke?
Yes.
Veronica?
No.
Ron? Yes. Reggie?
No.
Betsy?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
All right, and the chair votes yes. And so there's 5 to no, 5 to 4. Yeah, and so it's 5 yes, 3 no's. So therefore, this complaint has been dismissed. All right. All right. Next on our agenda, we have any discussion from this board before I open up for public comments? Any discussion from this board before I open up for public comment? All right. Now we open up for public comments. Anyone wish to address this board? Yes, ma'am. Have you been sworn in also? Does it be sworn in a second?
First time.
Coalition, so it's never really sworn in.
Yes.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. Calandra Smith with Hamilton County Coalition. First, just want to say, again, thank you to the board for everything that you guys do. And just remind you that those who are applying for beer only without a TABC, to remind them that they need the training within 60 days of getting their beer application approved. I did notify the first one that did, just so that we can continue to make sure we keep up with everyone's training as we move forward. I also this is just more of a comment as I was listening to today's violation. And it makes me wonder about, as we move forward with businesses who use other properties, sometimes unknowingly, sometimes knowingly, how the violations are going to look. So as I was listening to when the call was made and all of those things, when it comes to disorderly, if something happens, I know with the training, when I train the employees and the managers, I speak with them about disorderly conducts happening inside of their establishment. And if it even is resolved, it doesn't matter. You need to call 911. You don't wait for police to come on the premises at a later time for something else to then report it. Because what could happen is, between the time of the disorder and you're thinking everything is good, because maybe you put them out or whatever's happened, things are brewing on the outside. And once they get out, things may happen on the outside. So if you've already initiated that call when it initially happens with the disorder, police are more likely to either be headed that direction. You now have a report number to say, no, I called at 1:35, I reported a disorder, and once they got outside of the premises, that disorder had already been reported. So that kind of alleviates the gray area to me that's there right now. So I do think it's important that they do attend trainings, that they do understand your ordinances and how they're written. And like you said, you're only going based on what it is written legally, what needs to be done. But there's this gray area there when it comes to the parking, especially if a business has an occupancy for 200 people and there's no parking outside for 200 people on their property. So how do you handle that? So again, I just want us to kind of think about, as we're moving forward, what's that going to look like? Because I don't see it changing unless the ordinances are written differently, or how businesses are handling and making sure that they're training their employees on when to call 911. And I always tell them, just call 911. If you have a doubt, call 911. Put it on record, because when you come to this beer board, they need to hear that you knew immediately there was some type of disorder, and you wanted to make sure that that had been reported as a business that has a beer permit. So I just kind of want to put that on record. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Calandra.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to address this board? All right. Can you get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.